Hey guys, welcome to asktashea Tuesdays. I am so excited you were able to join me today. And guys, you sent me so many questions. I am so excited to help answer them all. So I'll try and get to as many as I can, but don't worry, I will be doing this every Tuesday. So I will be answering your questions as you send them. So you'll see the link below. It says submit your questions to asktashea@gmail.com. So we will get started shortly. I'm going to give people some time to come on in. We're starting at 12 on the dot. So hang in there with me. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please share my channel. If you are a realtor, if you are a buyer, a seller, an investor, subscribe because I will have great continued information for you. So let's give some people some time to get on in and then we will get started shortly. I should have had some music playing for you guys. I'll have that next time. Some nice music playing while we wait. Hang tight. We are almost about to start. Let people come on in for our 12 o'clock asktashea Tuesdays. We'll be starting in a few more minutes. Get all of these questions. All right, guys, thank you so much for patiently waiting. And again, welcome to asktashea Tuesdays, where I answer the questions that you ask. So let's get started. You guys sent me so many questions, but I only have time to answer 10 today, and then I will answer as many questions as I can on Tuesday and so on. So I'm here every week with you guys answering questions. It doesn't have to just be real estate related. It can be credit repair. It can be investments. It can be my agents that are new career agents. It can be questions about being an agent. It can be questions about buying and selling. So anything you can think of, real estate related, credit related, I am here to help. So let's get started. The first question I have was, what area do I specialize in? So the area that I specialize in is Maryland, Virginia, Northern Virginia specifically, and New York City specifically, not upstate New York. I specialize in New York City, downstate. The next question is, how has COVID-19 affected the real estate business and how did I adapt? So COVID-19, thank God, affected the real estate business in a positive, way. We didn't really go short on business. So thank God, business continued. We didn't have to stop real estate. As far as the way I adapted was wearing the mask, wearing gloves, keeping social distancing, doing virtual tours. We did a lot of virtual tours during the pandemic. So I'm really grateful that work did not slow down. Interest rates went low and buyers bought. Yes. And a lot of sellers wanted to stay put in their homes. So it was not a lot of inventory during the pandemic, but there were still sellers selling because the prices were going up. So it just created an amazing surge for sellers. And it really made buyers want to try and find their home because the interest rates were low. So COVID-19 affected real estate in a positive. And yeah, we adapted with the social distancing and those safety precautions. And virtual tours were a major thing. So the next question, important facts to know when buying a home. Okay, that's a good one. So some important facts that you should know when you're buying a home is the location. Where do you want to live? Really make sure you do your research on the location. If you're interested in certain types of schools, make sure you go to sites like greatschools.org and really know what's surrounding the location you want to be in. So location is a big thing. The next thing I would say as an important fact is just knowing where you are with your credit. Know where you are. Don't be afraid to check your 3 scores, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Know where you are. Of course, it's on the consumer side of scoring, but you'll have some idea of what that number is. It's always different on the lender side, but at least you'll have an idea of where your numbers are. The most accurate scores that I use is myfico.com. Myfico.com is really, really close to lender scoring. So check it out and try that. Another important fact I would say is finding a local realtor, because that local realtor will be able to gauge you to your location, what's available, help you with negotiations, and take you from start to finish on a contract process. So you want to make sure you have your realtor. The next person you want to have is a lender. And usually the realtor can refer some lenders that he or she may have worked with. So that would be cool. And you want to meet with the lender because the lender is the one that's going to give you that pre-approval and tell you how much you can shop for. So that's most important is your lender and your realtor. So some states, they require having an attorney. So make sure you do your research. Your realtor should be your resource where they can refer, any and everybody you need to have a successful contract to close process. So having an attorney also in some states is necessary, and that is an important person to have. Another thing I would say important facts would be, have a budget. Don't go over budget. Really plan out, your utilities, your repairs emergency expense fund, plan out your down payment, plan out, just knowing, okay, this place might have an HOA or a condo fee. Plan that out. So having a budget making sure you've saved or you have enough to work with is really important facts. So I hope that was helpful. Let's do the next question. Oh, this one I get a lot. How do you handle being a wife, a mom, and a realtor? I get that a lot, especially from a lot of agents that are in the real estate game and, they have to juggle their work-life balance. So with me, one thing is if you have support, utilize your support. Having support for me was major. My wife has always held me down. I remember working my 9 to 5 job, and for 7 years I did real estate as well, and she would take the kids in the evening and pick them up. I didn't have to worry about having to run home to make dinner. She held it down. So that was a real big help in, my career as a realtor. And then I became full-time 7 years later. So having that support system. If you don't have a support system, hiring a babysitter really helps. Like, really consider. There's a lot of nanny services out there, certified services, word of mouth, where someone can refer, someone to watch your children. If you have kids, look into nanny services, and utilize them while you do real estate. I also was able to make sure I created family time. You want to always have family time. You have to stop, you have to pause, no work, you have to give your family time. So sometimes I would find myself taking off my Sundays and telling my clients, and guess what? They were okay with it because we're human and we have to also live our life to be great for our clients. So I would take off Sundays. I remember writing an email saying, Sundays going forward, I'm off. That didn't last long. It turned into, okay, Saturday I'm off, and then it turned into, all right, Friday is family day. So it definitely always, changes based on life. But the key is to make sure you account for it. Make sure you are scheduling a day for family. If you can do more than a day, great. But I know that sometimes in real estate, you have goals to meet to be great for your family. And you have to stick to working and serving and helping others, So if you can do a day, that is highly recommended. If you can do more, that is awesome. Like, you're rocking. Like, for me, sometimes I would be able to cut my day off at 4, and that's it's random. Monday I might be working all day, but Tuesday I might be free after 4 and it's just family time. But another key is when you have family time, let it be family time. Let it be family time. Don't turn around, have family day, and then you're on your phone in your emails and not attending to your family. So that's some tips I have for you. I can go on and on about how to make it work, but I know that I don't want to keep you long. So I'll leave that there. But if you have any more questions, I'll dive in. Just ask it me and I will answer. So let's go to the next one. What is the process of turning my home into an investment property and buying a new one? That's easy. Okay. So the process of turning your home into an investment property, I'm assuming that you want to turn it into a rental. That's the only way you can really turn it. You can't flip it and then buy a new one, right? So I'm thinking that this question is saying I want to turn my current home into an investment property. So for our conversation, let's talk about turning it into a rental. So you can meet with a realtor. The realtor can go over the comps in the area for rental prices. And they will go over those prices, let you know what the market rate is for renting your home, single family, multifamily, condo, whatever it may be. They'll say, hey, this is how much you can rent it for. They will then go over listing paperwork. They'll list your home to rent. They will do the application process with tenants, background check. employment check, credit check, and then they will bring you a qualified, approved tenant that you definitely approve as well. And that is what that is, you renting out your home. So then the realtor, if she's good or he's good like me, would simultaneously find you a property to purchase. And so at the same time that you're looking to purchase a property and you get an offer accepted and you get in contract and you have a closing date, at the same time, renting your current home should be as smooth as possible to where that tenant moves in when you're moving out. So you're not losing on getting, if you have a current mortgage on that house, paid, and you're moving right into your home to get started with your next chapter. So that's it. If it was about flipping, email me and let me know, and I will come back with a flipping option. Okay? So the next question is, what are your typical hours? So as a realtor, it is great to set hours in your business because it's our business, right? So I would say my typical hours is probably 8 to 9 p.m., 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. On days, sometimes it varies, and it's okay. I'm flexible to it. That's how I run my business. I've had clients where we had to get out an offer and they weren't going to be available in the morning because they worked at the Pentagon and wouldn't be able to have their phone to sign the offer. So I ended up having to really, really make sure I completed the offer, went over the offer with them, page by page, line by line, making sure they understood what they were signing. And guess what? It turned to like 11 at night, but we got it done. So sometimes as a realtor, you have to go above and beyond. You have to do things, you have to be able to adapt. So I may have set hours, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., but trust me, I adapt to any situation I'm in. And it turns out we got our offer accepted because we sent it that night. The agent woke up to it in the morning. I was so excited. It was already signed and sent. I was so excited. The agent called and said, the sellers are signing, your offer is accepted. I'm like, of course it's accepted. So then, next thing you know, my client couldn't respond until they got out of work. But I was so ready. I was like, I said, please call me when you get this text. I have some news for you. I like to string them along and surprise them at the end, only when it's good news. So they got out of work. They called me immediately. Hey, Tashea. And I'm like, hey, guys. And they're like, what's going on? I'm like, you got the house. And they were like, oh my gosh, we were at work all day wondering. So it was just such an awesome experience. Just know, sometimes going above and beyond pays off. There's other times where people will take advantage of you staying up till 10 p.m. with them and 11 p.m. So make sure you kind of gauge when to do it and when not to. Don't make it a habit, right? Because trust me, when I get home, remember family time. I have to cut things off and I have to give attention to my wife and children. So, all right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Let's see. The next question. What made you start out as a dual career agent and how long did you work 2 careers? Okay, cool. So what made me start out as a dual career agent, I was a paralegal and I enjoyed working in a law firm. It was family law. I love children. I just enjoyed it, right? So family law, working as a paralegal, I needed the stability, right? I thought it would be selfish of me to leave my wife with one income and my just in case income. And then, but I knew that I had a passion for real estate and I wanted more, right? I wanted freedom. I wanted financial freedom, right? Time, freedom of time with my family, the entrepreneurship, the making my own money and not having limits not having a ceiling to how much I can make. And as a paralegal, there was a ceiling. There was like, I remember applying to another paralegal job, and they were like, yeah, the highest that you can go here is 80,000. I was like, 80,000, but I want 100. I want 200. I want to be a millionaire. Like, so that wasn't going to work for me, right? So I wanted to be strategic about going into real estate. First, I wanted to make sure it was what it cracked out to be, like it was for me, right? Because you may have a passion in something, but then it turns out to be, once you learn what that something is, and you try it out, you're like, I don't really like it as much as I thought I would. So I, started real estate. I stayed in my paralegal stable employment, and I made it both work. And I got to see that I loved it. I got to see that my time outside of work, when I clocked out at 5 and I ran over to go show a house, it was so fulfilling. I was like, oh my gosh, this house is beautiful. I hope they get it. What do I have to do to get them this house? Oh, look at their new growing family. Like, it really touched my heart in a whole nother way. So I definitely kept both. And I just knew that I had to work harder. That's all. Just had to work harder. I just made it happen. I made it happen. So yes, I got a lot of people, agents and brokers, discouraging and saying, you can't do both. Why are you doing both? You should be a full-time realtor. I was like, yeah, okay. But while you're trying to see if you can close a house, I have my stable check coming in every 2 weeks. And I'm selling a house next week. So what are you saying? So you get a lot of those naysayers, which is also in my book on how to be a dual career real estate agent. I didn't even think I was going to put in that plug, but it's in my book. Watch out for the doubters. Oh, that chapter tells you, like, there was so many people saying, you can't do this, you can't do this. Why are you doing dual? Just go full time. And I'm like, stability, like, hold on. When it's my time, I'll be full time, right? So then it was about 7 years in, and I already made over $5 million in volume. I worked hard. I made a lot more than what a full-time agent was making. A lot of full-time agents wasn't even pulling half of the sales I was pulling. So the hate was real, right? Because anytime I came in the office, it was just to print, it was to make flyers, it was to go to an open house. It was high and by, right? So I realized, I was like, babe, speaking to my wife, I said, babe, I'm actually making more than I'm making at work. And I'm ready to go. I said, imagine how much more I'll be able to make if I was full time. I said, I think I'm ready. I said, I know I'm ready. I can do this. So my faith kicked in. I mean, you have to have faith to go full time and step out and not know what's going to happen. Like, what's the next thing? Like, where's the next cell? Like, so it was definitely faith. So I would say that's what made me finally, go full time, was because I felt ready. So you have to feel ready. So I did dual because of security and stability, but I also needed to be ready to go full time, because when you turn full time, it's a whole nother ball game. You're in control of your hours. You have to be disciplined. You have to have a set schedule for yourself, because nobody's telling you when to clock in and out. So it's a whole new ball game. So that's why I was a dual career agent for 7 years, but I've been licensed now for 11. So it's been amazing as a full-time realtor. Hope that helped. Let's see. The next question is, how did you know you were ready to go full time? Oh, that answered that. So I just answered 2 in 1. The next one is real estate a good career? You make it look so easy. Thank you, thank you. I guess I do, huh? Oh man, real estate is an awesome career. If you love people, it's a people's business, okay? Do not get into real estate if you don't love people. If you don't love working with people, real estate is not for you. But I think that real estate is an awesome career. There's so many areas of real estate you can be in: commercial, residential. You want to sell storefronts, you want to sell houses, you want to sell the $1 million houses, the $300,000 houses. You can do anything you want in real estate. Like, it's such a big field that you won't get bored. You won't get bored. So yeah, real estate is good, especially if you love people. Do not get into real estate if you don't like people. That doesn't work. And finally, the last question is, what is the requirement to become a real estate agent? Okay, so to become a real estate agent, definitely check with your state. But usually, states require a pre-licensing course. You take the pre-licensing course, and then you go and you take your state's exam, the national and state portion. You pass that, you get an application, you find a broker to sponsor your license, you sign up with that broker, and you are a licensed realtor. So pre-licensing, state exam, join a brokerage, become licensed. That's it. So I hope these questions were so helpful for you guys. I enjoyed it. It felt good to take some time out my day to just sit still before going to go show some houses and give you my attention to your questions. So next Tuesday, Ask Tashea Tuesday, I will be right back here at 12 o'clock live to answer your questions. So send me questions, asktashea@gmail.com. All right, guys, have a good one. Speak to you soon.